Hey mamas, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tenn-Lai and this is where we talk about all things motherhood. Let's get into bodily changes when pregnant. I know I've had a part 1 of this, but there's some things that I didn't talk about that I want to talk about. The first thing is discharge. Okay. Discharge. We know women, when we're going through discharge on our period is one type of discharge, but coming up to your period, you get some types of discharge. Sometimes there's discharge if you get any type of like yeast infection or any infection down there, you get discharge. But pregnancy discharge is very different. Pregnancy discharge, I don't know about you, but for me it was like a pool of water constantly coming from my body. I would sit there and I'm like, I feel like there's water leaking. Like I feel like there's a pool, there's a flood happening. And I was wearing panty liners for a while, and even the panty liners, like I was changing every hour, every 2 hours, because they were getting so soaked. Oh my goodness. It was just a whole different experience when it came to pregnancy. Comment down below and let me know if one of your pregnancy, I don't want to say symptoms, but your pregnancy things that you went through, like you felt, was pools of discharge coming from your body constantly throughout your entire pregnancy. So that's the first thing that happened. The second thing, which is quite embarrassing, let me tell you the story. Okay. So, and I'm going to plug the clip if I can find it. But there was one night before going to bed, my husband was playing this video and I'm like, what is that? Like, the sound was as if like there was a truck struggling to get up a hill. I'm like, what are you watching? What like monster car truck are you watching? And then he starts laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? Like, where's this coming from? And he showed me the video.
Go up a little higher though. Oh yeah, you got one more in you. See that? She always want to be touching me.
It was me snoring. I don't snore unless I'm exhausted, like really, really exhausted. And even then, it's like a heavy breathing. I don't snore. When he played this clip for me, guys, I was so embarrassed. Like, I couldn't believe that was me. So that was definitely something that happened during my pregnancy in terms of snoring. Farting. Farts. Like, okay, not everybody, I guess, from what I've heard, experience farts that smell unless they've had like certain types of food. But pregnancy farts, oh my gosh, pregnancy farts were disgusting. I couldn't even stand the smell of my own farts. Oh my gosh. And I did my best to eat as healthy as I can. Like, the only cravings that I had during pregnancy was fruits. And it had to be a fruit platter from Sobeys. Like, everybody knew, like my son's godparents, or we're really close friends with, they knew if they were coming over to see us, they had to pick up a platter from Sobeys just for me. So that was my craving for my entire pregnancy. So it wasn't that I was like eating sweets or, certain types of foods, or like I just crave cheese. Like, it was none of that. And I love cheese, and I have yogurt, but other than that, like milk, dairy milk, we don't drink dairy milk, we drink almond milk. So, but man, I could not stand my farts. And there was, I can't remember what time of the day it was, but it was just a certain time of the day that I would be gassy. But I can't remember. The one thing that did happen to me a lot, other than the whole fighting, was I was like if I ate after 7 o'clock, I was not going to be able to sleep at night because it's like my food just stayed right here. Like I could actually feel the food in my esophagus and just, I think that's what it's called, and it just wouldn't go down for whatever reason. So I tried to avoid eating after 7 o'clock, and if I happened to eat, it was pillows are propped up on the bed, I'm sleeping upright, and I could literally feel the burning. That was one thing that I did not enjoy, and I believe I had that up until the third trimester. And after the third trimester, I was fine. But that's the one thing. After 7 o'clock, I could not sleep. Like it was torture. And then watching my husband snore away beside me in the bed, I was just like, oh, I'm so envious of you. I was so upset because he could sleep, but I just could not sleep. And then I know I've mentioned this in my previous body changes video, but spotting. Like I had spots all over my legs, my bum. I actually had, I think I may have a picture of it, but I had marks, like black marks or dark marks on the, what is it called? Behind your knee. Whatever that's called, behind your knee is where I had those black marks. So those marks have gone away. I still have a little spotting here and there on my bum and my thighs, but it's not as bad as with pregnancy. And we all know when it comes to your pregnancy line, I understand that not all moms get it, but I had the pregnancy line right on my stomach.
And I love it.
As this man walks in, so he has a comment to make. But in terms of like body changes and body effects and what I experienced during pregnancy, that was it. But like I said, the worst part for me was just the flood of discharge and knowing, even though I didn't necessarily hear my, oh, yes. I may not have known that I was snoring every night, but I think I was in the mid part of my second trimester where my husband went into a store and I fell asleep in the car, and I actually woke myself up with the snoring. Yeah, that's embarrassing. So remember that. Anyways, mamas, I want to know what you guys experience. Let's get some conversations going in the chats below. What did you experience when you were pregnant? What bodily changes? Did you experience some of the things that I'm talking about? And if there's other things, I know there's morning sickness. I never had morning sickness, but that's a common thing that a lot of women experience, and I think migraines as well. Never experienced that, ironically, even though I have suffered from migraines previously, but I'm believing that I was delivered from it because I haven't experienced that in a very long time. But I want to know, what do you guys experience, or what did you guys experience, are experiencing now if you are pregnant? And what effects after pregnancy are you still dealing with? Because I know those happen too. Let me know. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Bye, mamas.